Hey guys, how's it going? CoderMan here, and you can probably see from behind me that the M3 is no longer here and I have something red. So I want to go ahead and tell you a little bit about this and what the journey was to get it home. So I'm curious to see how quickly I'm going to lose subscribers because I don't have an M3 anymore, but rest assured I will have another one in the future. I just wanted to do something different, and I want to introduce you guys to my new car, which you can see here is a 2016 Porsche GT4. It is in Guards Red and it looks immaculate. It came with 16,000 miles. I put 2,100 miles on it, bringing it home, which I now want to go into a little bit more detail on that whole journey. And of course why I did it, because why would anyone buy a car and then immediately put 2,100 miles on it? So as you know from my last video, I was kind of unsure what I would get next, and I was kind of all over the place, to be honest. I was looking at GTRs, 911s, R8s, all sorts of things, even old Lambos. And at the end of the day, I just kind of wanted to look at what do I want to drive the most, what do I want to take to track days, and really what do I want to enjoy, because I had the other car for 6 years. I'm sure I'll have this one for a few years, and I want to actually enjoy my cars, plus I drive them. So my desire for a Porsche actually began long before I even had the M3, and I actually just had the TSX, and I had the absolute awesome opportunity to build a mobile app for Porsche Germany for the Cayman Code of the Curve, and that was around 2013. Now, of course, I've always loved Porsche, and I've always been a fan of the brand, so it wasn't far-fetched that I would own one day. But now, why the GT4 over, say, the 911? Well, I actually had bid on a 911 on Bring a Trailer. For those who aren't familiar, it's an online auction website specifically for, rare and custom cars. Now, I found a 911 that was in Mexico blue, paint to sample. I was super excited about it. I was pre-approved to the bank, had my down payment, everything was golden. I hopped into the auction. I bid it up to around, I think it was like 82, 83,000. And I was like, you know what? This is stupid. This car's worth like 78 to 80 tops. The color might add a couple thousand, but I'm never gonna get my money back, so I need to be smart about this and look at other options. So I was telling my buddy of mine that I lost the auction, and I kind of wanted to know what to do next. So I was looking at other options, and I actually thought back to some other cars I was thinking of that didn't even make my top 5, and one of them was the GT4. And the reason I really liked this car was because it has kind of a good look. It doesn't look like, typical Porsche, which some of them just, to me, don't look great. This has kind of a more GT race look. It has a manual transmission as the only option, and it has some cool things like carbon bucket seats, which, believe it or not, are surprisingly comfortable for what they are. You, of course, need to sit in them prior to make sure that they're going to fit for you and you're going to enjoy them, because they're not very adjustable. You pretty much can move them up and back, and that's it. So after I decided that the GT4 was the car that I was after, I started doing a search, and lo and behold, there was nothing close. I wanted it in red, either carmine or guards, and at the end of the day, I really like this color. It looks kind of orange in the sunlight, and if you don't clean it, it also looks really dirty really fast, so it gets you to detail your car way more often, which I guess for everybody is a good thing. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't any around here, so I found a couple. I found one in New Jersey, and then I found one in Colorado. Now, for those who don't know, I have a good buddy and designer that lives out in Colorado, about an hour from where this car was. And I had thought of asking him to go down and look at it, but it was certified pre-owned. I was able to talk to the dealer. I was really comfortable with the whole process. So I put a deposit on the car, and I finalized the paperwork and got everything good to go, and decided, you know what, instead of shipping it home, I'm actually gonna fly out there with my son, and we're gonna drive it home cross country. So long story short, on the procuring of the vehicle, I flew out to Colorado with my son, and we drove it back home 2,100 miles, did about 10 hours each day, and unfortunately I couldn't spend a lot of time on the road outside of driving because I had a meeting that I had to get back to on Friday. So it was a great time. We stayed in a couple hotels, drove, unfortunately only highway, but really enjoyed the car. Did all sorts of fun stuff with it on the highway, and just, overall just really enjoyed the whole time. And of course I got to share it with my son, which is just an added bonus. That right there is the ride time minus 2 hours that I've driven it since it's been home. Like I said, I haven't been able to drive it since I've been home. It was 31 hours from Colorado to Boston. and I averaged, now I'm averaging about 64 miles per hour, but I was originally averaging closer to 70, and fuel consumption is just hilarious because this gets better gas mileage than the M3, and arguably it may sound better. I'm curious what your thoughts are in the comments. Do you think it sounds better? You know, I'm sure people are gonna ask me what sort of mods am I gonna do to this car, and honestly, I don't have any plans. The exhaust sounds great, the wheels look awesome, the whole setup, everything's great about it. I really have nothing to change. For those who don't know, an interesting thing about Porsche, the key is on the left side. That took a minute to get used to, but it's, you know, super simple once you get used to it, of course. So it's about as loud as the M3 when it's in my garage, but let's go ahead and back it out and let you guys get a better look, as well as a couple exhaust revs. Okay, she's far from warmed up, so I'm gonna do a couple of quick exhaust blips. So I mean, you can hear, even stock, this car sounds friggin' amazing. And I was very fortunate that it came with the interior trim painted the same color as the exterior, and then for whatever reason you got to have the red seat belts to match, and then why not just some carbon fiber around the seats. There's in the bolsters as well as in the headrest, and then of course if you're not sure which car you're driving, you can turn around and look. So this car was pretty much optioned out. The only thing I didn't get on it that I'm aware of is carbon ceramic brakes, which I swear the guy added afterwards because the brakes squeak like crazy. And then, you know, for those Porsche purists, I do not have Sport Chrono. It was, I think, like a $2,800 option, and it gave you a clock and a track app. So no one bought it, basically. It has the basic stereo because you don't drive this car to listen to the stereo, and it has the dual zone climate control, which was nice driving home. So the door cards and everything, they're Alcantara. The the glove box is Alcantara. The steering wheel is as well. This is definitely going to wear, which is going to be interesting. And then the shift knob is a mixture of chrome and Alcantara. And then one of the coolest things that I think on the GT4 from a build perspective is that the door handles are actually just straps to cut down on weight, and I guess really just to give it that race car look. So we always joke about BMW cup holders, but I swear Porsche has definitely raised the bar in most awkward and useless design. So in order to get into the cup holders, you have to push on this cup icon, and then inside here is two cup holders. But look at the size of the default. I mean, I couldn't even fit an 8-ounce can. So what you gotta do is you gotta pull it out, and there you go. Now you have a nice cup holder sitting over your instrument your center console, waiting to spill something. And then when you're done, basically you gotta push it back in. You push it in here till it locks, and you push this up. And you know, they're all hidden away, which is nice. You don't have anything here, but it's just kind of funny how German engineering, they just try to overcomplicate things. And funny enough, for those Porsche fans out there, this car surprisingly does not have a lot of buttons. So you basically just have, I mean, I could go down the list real quick. You have sport, you have suspension, you have an electronic stability control, you have ESC plus traction control off, and then you have sport exhaust. That's it. So no other options, no front lift. You know, obviously you don't have any sort of a sunroof or anything, moonroof, you know, so kind of low on the buttons. I looked, you can actually add some aftermarket stuff here. I don't know what I would add, but you know, possibly a front lift, because I can actually show you guys out front if I get out of the car real quick and go around front. you'll see that the front lip is surprisingly low, and if I spin right over here, you'll see a nice little divot that the previous owner put in it. This piece here is about 800 bucks, but honestly I don't think I would replace it because I'm sure I'm gonna hit stuff. It is, like I said, all around it's pretty damn low. And then here's the wheels. They're satin black, and these are the upgraded brakes. He has upgraded rotors and pads. I'm not sure the calipers, but like I said, I swear these are carbon ceramics. They don't look like they are, and I'm definitely not an expert in that area, but these things squeak like crazy and it sounds like a race car. And one additional thing that was cool, I found out about this car after the fact, if I go over to the door card, is that the previous owner has a ceramic coating, and I don't know if it's going to come up on camera too well, but there is yeah, it's not really going to come up on camera, but there is paint protection on the entire front of this car, so I can actually track it and drive it and not worry too much about it. So there you have it. There's my new car. This is the reason that the M3 got sold. I actually ended up selling it to a friend of a friend, so I'm really excited that I'll still be able to see it and it will be well taken care of. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. I appreciate the continued support on the channel. We're just about to hit 2,000 subscribers. That'll probably happen in the next week or so, and I'm going to be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. Please let me know your thoughts on the car. Again, if you're gonna leave because I don't have a BMW anymore, I'm sorry to see you go, but I'm gonna have a Porsche now. I will have another BMW in my future, and as you know, I have the Acura as well. So, you know, I'm gonna be creating some different content. And then my buddy actually just bought a Fiesta ST manual, first time learning manual, just like I did with the M3. He's doing great with it, and we're gonna be taking it on some back road rides, so there'll be that content as well. So as always, I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Smash the notification button, and I'll see you in the next video.